I'm going to place a sports bet because I love sports. So I chose to experience placing a $50 sports bet in Vegas, something that I would never ordinarily do. Being Jewish, I've grown up with a very cautious relationship with money and tend to consider gambling as frivolous. So this was a really nerve-wracking experience for me. Through this experience, I was hoping to better understand what draws people to placing large sports bets or just bets in general for that matter. While there are certain stereotypes that come to mind with regards to gambling, I also understood that those do not represent the whole. It's easy to think of gamblers as degenerates, wasting away their time and money in a dark, seedy location. Though that might sometimes be true, I also knew it could have a casual social association that's not necessarily negative. The emic perspective within the gambling world is similar to the etic. My fiance plays poker and gambles frequently and says that gamblers tend to look at others who partake in placing bets as hopeless degenerates, but have a skewed perspective when it comes to themselves. They rarely think that their bets are pointless and that they will have negative outcomes despite the odds. Before the experience, I was nervous, not just about the possibility of losing $50, but also communicating my betting intentions. I don't speak sports, let alone speak bets or gambling. So I've never placed a sport. I've never really placed a bet before, and like being Jewish, I just feel really uncomfortable throwing money around in general. But I went to go place a $50 sports bet, which was one, just really uncomfortable because throwing away money is terrifying, and two, I don't know anything about sports, and three, I don't know anything about betting. So that was. I want to say it was a learning experience, but I don't think I learned anything yet. I don't really understand what I did, but I placed a $50 bet, a parlay. He said, the guy I spoke with said that this was the best way to do it. So they all have to win, and I guess you can bet on a certain amount of people to win, and you can keep going up, like your odds are better the more you just have, but then they all have to win. So I don't know if I'm gonna get any money, but if the Marlins, the Mariners, and the Dodgers all win today, I will get $424 for my $50 bet, which is really cool. But I don't think that I don't think they'll win. Dodgers are playing the Giants, and I feel like that's a pretty hot match. But the rest of the day was pretty brutal. I didn't want to watch the games or even know the scores until all three games were finished. The scores ended up being that the Marlins lost to the Cubs 6-10, the Mariners lost to the Indians 5-6, and then the Dodgers beat the Giants 5-0. So I only won one out of three, and that didn't even matter because I had to win 3 out of 3 to get anything. After I learned that I had lost the first game, I was so relieved. It was almost better to lose right away than to hold on hope until the most likely final loss. Through those uncomfortable moments, I just sort of pushed through. I was super open about how I was an outsider in this experience, and addressing this helped because I didn't feel the need to seem natural while I was there. Oh, I'm pretty sure the man taking my bet was equally confused. Despite me telling him that this was my first time placing a sports bet, he didn't really know how to simplify his jargon. I was confused with most things he was trying to explain, and he was confused by my confusion in response. I was definitely an outsider. My social and language neurological development constructs were activated because I had to attempt to walk the walk and talk the talk. I just dropped a ticket. I learned that I still don't like betting, and losing money feels awful. This knowledge will influence my education practice by the lack of all or none outcomes in my classroom, because knowing that I at least won one game but didn't get credit for it really sucks. So having some sort of system in place where my students or whoever's involved gets credit for each achievement versus all or none